because he won by a landslide in South Carolina while spending about $1 million, while Rubio spent $12 million, Bush $15 million, Cruz $7 million. I never thought I'd say this, but Donald Trump is frugal. He's the man to go to Washington and cut spending and cut the size of government and cut government employees and cut government employee pensions and cut government agencies and cut the deficit and the debt for good. A president who saves money, who knew? All right, so without further ado, we've got a prayer tonight for the invocation to bless our country, to bless all of you patriots, and to bless Donald J. Trump. Let me hand it over to George Harris, the chairman of Nevadans for Sound Government. George, come on up.
Thank you, everybody. As you can see this, we lose 22 veterans a day, unfortunately, to suicide, and Mr. Trump's going to try to help stop that. If you all please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, please bless this group, please bless our country, and please bless our soldiers, and please bless Mr. Trump, who's going to come and take our country back. Please protect us and watch over the United States of America. We ask these things in your name. Amen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, George Harris. Now for the Pledge of Allegiance, Judge Donald Mosby, one of the longest-serving judges in the history of Nevada. He consistently fought for justice and the rule of law, and now, not surprisingly, Judge Mosley is a supporter of Donald J. Trump.
Would you please repeat after me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Judge Donald Mosley. I want to introduce the man who's going to sing our Star-Spangled Banner, Daniel Emmett. Daniel's an emerging recording artist from Las Vegas, and he's releasing his debut album later this year. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Emmett.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Daniel. What a beautiful voice. All right, little housekeeping, folks. First of all, make sure you all go to the caucus tomorrow, yeah? Does Donald Trump own the Nevada caucus? All right, so to find your caucus location, We need you to go to DonaldJTrump.com/Nevada. Got that? DonaldJTrump.com/Nevada. We also need you to sign up with the Trump campaign. We need all the help we can get to beat the desperate GOP establishment. And we have tables here for you to sign up and volunteer for the rest of this campaign. I also want to thank the people who made this event possible, Team Trump Nevada. Please give them a hand. And a hand for Team Trump Executive Director of State of Nevada, Charles Munoz. All right. I have a few thoughts to share, and then I'm going to hand the evening over to the men you came here to see, Joe Arpaio and Donald J. Trump. So, I'm not here today as a politician. Like Donald Trump, I'm an anti-politician. I'm here today as a taxpayer, as a small businessman, as a blue-collar SOB, son of a butcher, as a homeschool dad of 4 children, and an evangelist for capitalism, American exceptionalism, and the American dream. Donald Trump represents the antidote for what's wrong with America. Too much government. And produce a successful business. We need people who know how to create real jobs, not just government jobs, not just the kind of jobs that Obama specialized in, jobs flipping burgers, jobs washing dishes, jobs mowing lawns. We need real middle-class jobs. But the current administration, and Hillary Clinton wants to keep up everything the current administration has done, has turned the entire U.S. economy into a hostile work environment. Here's what Donald Trump offers to America: a fresh start, a new beginning, economic freedom, opportunity and mobility, middle-class jobs, and yes, a chance to be wealthy and successful again. He will put America and Americans and American jobs first. We get it in Vegas. Do you know the difference between Las Vegas and Washington, D.C.? In Vegas, the drunks gamble with their own money. Nevadans intuitively understand and have always understood that government is not our friend, that government fails at most everything it does, because we were the home, folks, of the most successful legal brothel in the history of America, the Mustang Ranch. You know that story. The owner of the Mustang Ranch built a $100 million business that he was accused of cheating on his taxes. He fled the country. He was indicted. The federal government took over his brothel, and they drove it into bankruptcy in 1 year. The moral to the story is why we need Donald Trump as president. If you can't run a brothel and turn a profit, get your damn hands off my health care. And by the way, if law enforcement really wants to get serious about ending all forms of prostitution, start by arresting the pimps that run the world's biggest brothel in Washington, D.C. Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, and Hillary Clinton. See, we have the winning message. If you can't get the voters fired up over this philosophy, over this message, you have the wrong candidate. And for far too long, Republicans have had the wrong candidates. Now we have Donald J. Trump. I will leave you today with the words of one of the great heroes of American politics, my hero, Barry Goldwater. Barry Goldwater once said, "The day will come when we entrust the conduct of our affairs to men and women who understand that their very first duty as public officials is to divest themselves of the power they've been given." In other words, the day that a politician takes office, put your hand on that Bible and pledge to give the power back to the people. That's why we all support Donald J. Trump. All right, so now I have the honor of introducing Sheriff Joe Arpaio. He is known, Sheriff Joe is known across America as America's toughest sheriff, serving Maricopa County, Phoenix, Arizona, since 1993. He is the toughest sheriff in America against illegal immigration. It's my honor to introduce, give him a giant standing ovation, Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Thank you. I only have 5 minutes. That's difficult for me. But anyway, thank you very much. I love Nevada. I was a cop in Las Vegas Police Department in 1957. I was very young when I joined. But then I became a federal narcotics agent after that assignment in Vegas, and that propelled me into my future to fight the drug traffic. So I was stationed in Turkey, Mexico City, South America, Texas, Arizona, so I do know where the Mexican-U.S. border is. And this is, I have to be careful. This is not a resume on me. I'm here to support Donald Trump. So I have, in my 24 years as sheriff, endorsed and campaigned for 4 other presidential candidates running for office. But this one is a little different. It's not only that we seem to be on the same lane, but he's the best for America in this time and period. So I'm very excited supporting Donald Trump. Very excited. And I hope that all of you are, and I hope that the people will understand where he's coming from and make sure he becomes the next president of the United States. So, when they say build a fence in Mexico, that's a no-brainer. That's nothing. They can do that in 2 days. So, people say it's impossible. It is not impossible, believe me. I'm not going to get into my experience with G. Gordon Liddy and I closing that border in 1970. It's very important, that border under Nixon. And I'll tell you, the Mexicans bent down when they said they're going to take away their foreign aid. Then they began cooperating with our country. Donald and I are very sad because of all the drugs coming across that border. Most politicians will get to the border, they get their picture taken in the chicken fence on illegal immigration. They forget that the heroin, all the drugs coming into our country, including Nevada, comes from Mexico. Nobody wants to talk, and do anything about that. As far as the guns are concerned, I love his stance on the guns, especially. And 3 days before California, I went public and said 250,000 people in our area to carry concealed weapons. They ought to use those weapons when you have a rampage in killing people and take the guy down. That's what I said. And when Donald talks about ISIS and going over there, you never negotiate. You destroy them. That's what you do. But what I like about him, he tells it like it is. Most politicians they're very politically correct. Have you noticed that? Nobody says anything. I can never understand. But I understand when he talks. And I think most people understand. Some may not like it, but that's tough. So you got to work hard. I was on the airplane coming in here. I won't say which airline, but I get pretty good support even from the pilots, which makes me happy. But even the, what do you call them now? I call them stewardess. That's how flight attendant, you know. They even come up to me and they whisper in my ear, "Oh, I'm glad you're supporting Trump." Why do they have to whisper? Come on, come right out and say it. But, nothing to be ashamed of. Come on. He's a businessman. We need a businessman for a change. If you ran your business like the government, you go broke in 2 days. So let's get those jobs, keep them here. Why give them away to everybody in the world? I never did understand that. And by the way, when you talk about ambassadors and all this, he's probably the best ambassador we have. He probably knows more about foreign policies and government because he's over there all the time. So I don't have much time to get to tents. By the way, we just reached 500,000 people in the tents that I put up in 1993. So I've had 4 presidential candidates visit me in the tents. 4. And they all lost. I'm trying to get Hillary down here, but she's too smart. She won't come to the tents. I'd even give her a free pair of pink underwear. So you guys don't probably know what I'm talking about. I guess most of you do, right? But anyway, I'm here to support Donald Trump. I'm not going to talk about the Pope in that situation, which affects me. I'm not going to get into that. How they went after me won't let me go in there, the Mexican government, but that's another issue. By the way, I can't get in to see the Mexican officials to help them because of all my experience. They won't let me in to talk to them. It's the old, it's too dangerous. If I'm not worried, why are they worried? Then it's become Trump. Oh, he's a buddy of Trump. What's that got to do with it? I wish I could get Donald. I love his airplane. I wish we could go together to Mexico City, trying to find a way to do that. At least I'll save an airplane fare. So he's got the guts, the courage to speak out. And believe me, 80-90% what he says makes sense. Common sense. And that's what it is. So I won't get into other things that he and I seem to be on the same road, but that will come later. Anyway, thank you. This is a great state, Nevada, and it's a great country for all of you, and it's a great, I see a lot of Arizona people here. Came all the way from Arizona. I see Tom Morrissey, Chair, everybody from Arizona. They love Donald Trump. They may not tell you, but they do. And they love him here in Nevada. And you will see tomorrow night. Thank you.
Donald.
We want the World Wrestling Federation atmosphere in the Oval Office.
A series of proposals in Trump's plan that do create problems.
You know, he feeds ammunition to the
This is a big, beautiful building. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh, boy, you better get out tomorrow. You got to vote tomorrow. You got to vote, vote, vote. Build that wall. We're going to build that wall. Don't worry about it. We're going to build that wall. We're going to build the wall. And who's going to pay for that wall? Who? They think we're kidding too, don't they, folks, huh? We're not kidding. We're not kidding. We're not going to be the dummies anymore, folks. We're going to be the smart ones. We're going to be the smart ones. So I want to thank you. This is like a record-setting crowd, I understand. They say the biggest they've ever had at doing this stuff. Is that incredible? Incredible. 10,000 people in this beautiful arena. I want to thank Michael and his wife. They own the place. They were so nice. They were so nice, but they've really done a good job. But I just want to tell you, setting records like this, so important. But tomorrow, you have to go out and vote. We have such moments. I was running. Who knew this was going to happen? I figured maybe we'd be in the middle of the pack by this time, but we were going to edge it out at the end, like a racehorse. We edge it out. We win in the end. But we have a big lead, and we don't want to blow it. And, frankly, we've got to go all the way. We're going to make America great again, folks. We're going to make America great again. We're going to make it better than ever before. The fact is that over the last 6 months, 7 months, I've been going around, and every crowd, it's like this all the time. The people are amazing. The people are amazing. And I've been saying that. Make America great again. It's going to be better than ever before. Because our people in this country are incredible. Now, it started on June 16th, and I came down, I talked about illegal immigration. In fact, we have Sheriff Joe. Where's Sheriff Joe? I love Sheriff Joe. I'll tell you what, there he is right there. When Sheriff Joe endorses Trump, that means there's nobody like Trump on immigration. That we know. That we know. Thank you, Sheriff Joe. Thank you. And so it started with that, and it started with trade. And I made a speech in Trump Tower. I took a deep breath because, it takes guts to run for president, I want to tell you. And I don't do this. I don't do this. Other guys have spent $148 million. And I'm self-funding, by the way. I'm spending my own money. I don't need these people. I don't need their money. Very important. I don't know if I get the credit for that. To be honest, when you go into a booth and you vote, I don't know that I get the credit. But I will tell you, these people are all taken care of by their donors, their special interests, and their lobbyists. 100%. 100%. Well, I used to be those people, just so you understand. Who knows the game, right? Who knows the game? But I understand what it takes. So when somebody gives you $5 million and they represent the pharmaceutical industry and they come to you and they need a favor, you want to be an honest guy, but it's hard to say no. You don't have to say, but believe me, they have you 100%. And what's good for the country is not going to be the thing that's done. When they come to see me and they say, we need this or we need that, I say, folks, I have no interest. I got to do what's right for the country. We're going to straighten this thing out. We're going to straighten it out. I'll give you an example. terrible thing happened. This week you saw Carrier, right? Carrier air conditioning. So my son Eric, who's here with Don, they said, we ought to write a letter. These are activist sons. They're actually great sons. Where are they? Where are they? These are great sons. There they are. And they said, we ought to write a letter to Carrier. And here's what happened. Do people know what went on with Carrier last week? It's very sad. And there's nothing we're going to do about it unless we get very smart and tough. I went to the best school, and you don't have to go to the best school. You don't have to go through high school to understand it. What they're doing is they announced 1,400 jobs. They just fired everybody. And they said, we're moving to Mexico. And somebody took a cell phone. A lot of people are moving to Mexico. It's become like the new China. And they took a cell phone. 1,400 people were devastated. Now they say they're going to go to Mexico. So if I'm the president, here's what we do. We write them a little note. We congratulate them in their move. We hope it goes well. We hope they don't have too many cost overruns when they build their new beautiful building. And we tell them the following. We tell them that every time you make an air conditioning unit, and every time you send that unit into the United States, you're going to pay a 35% tax, okay? 35%. And it's going to be amazing how those numbers are going to change, right? It's going to be amazing. And I don't care. And they're going to call me. They won't even bother with the lobbyists because the lobbyists won't have given me money. The special interests won't have given me money. Their donors won't have given me money. When I went to the last debate, you saw that mess. I didn't have anybody there. I had my sons, my wife, I had a couple of people there. And the whole room was stacked with special interests and donors. And guys got up and spoke so badly, and the audience went crazy. And I looked and I knew half the people in the room. They're all special interest guys. One represented pharmaceuticals. Look, we've got to put our country back together. It's a mess. It's a mess. We got to do it. So, as an example, the drug companies. A doctor comes up to me, very big doctor. He says to me, Don, we're dying with Obamacare. It's a killer. It's no good. Not working. It's not working. He tells me he has more accountants than he has nurses. Not too good, right, to hear that. But he said, you know that they don't bid out drugs with the largest drug buyer in the world, the United States, and we don't bid them out. I said, well, I'm surprised to hear that, but not that surprised because the drug companies and pharmaceutical companies are all making massive campaign contributions to the people I'm running against and to all the others. And I say, I will. But I won't use that expression because I'll get in trouble with these people. They'll say, do you know what he just said? It was so, right? So I won't say it, but we will do that. We will do exactly what you said. So I said what happened. I said, yeah, that's okay. You can sit down. I said what happened is that they're all being taken care of. If we bid out pharmaceuticals, drugs, and those things, we would save each year $300 billion. $300 billion as a country. Now, you have that with the military going on because the military outfits that make the weapons, even if their weapons... What's wrong? Do you have a little protester? Get him the hell out. Get him out. Oh, get him out. Where's the protester? Where is he? I don't even see him. Look, I love protesters because the only way the cameras turn and show how big the audience is when there's a protester. Otherwise, they never turn. I love protesters. Don't worry, it's okay. You know, for a long time, I didn't know these guys. It was like solid. They're on my face. And you know the story. I've said it before. My wife, I go home. I say, how did I do? Did you see how big the crowd was? I've had 35,000 people, 25,000, 20. We have the biggest crowds by far of anybody. Much bigger than Bernie, although I will say Bernie is second. He is second, but much bigger. But I think he's heading down. He's heading down. Looks like Bernie's heading down. Looks like Hillary's going to get a pass on her email scandal. But we will be bringing it up. We'll be bringing it up. Looks like we're going to be running against Hillary, which is good. How did she get a pass on that deal? How? Right? It won't happen. It won't happen. It won't happen. So with these cameras, so they never show the audience. So I said to my wife, did you see the size of that audience tonight? We had 25,000 people. Did you? No. They just keep it on your face. And then I realized they're instructed never, ever show the audience. And the other night, recently, I had 12,000 people. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I love it. You know, the other night we had 12,000 people. Bernie had 3,000. I turn on the television because I do like watching myself, to be totally honest. Okay. But I turn on the television and they're saying, Bernie Sanders had a massive crowd of 3,000 people. Blah, blah, blah. You know, the taxes, everything. Okay. Then they go to Trump. And Donald Trump spoke before a crowd today. I had 12,000 people. He had 3. So he had a massive crowd at 3. 12 they don't mention. This is really bad. These are the most dishonest people I think I've ever dealt with. It's true. It's true. They're bad people. Bad people. But we learn to live with it. Not all of them. They're not all bad. There's about 80% bad. 10% okay, 5% good, and 5% very good. All right? That's not bad. That's not bad. So, what I did on June 16th, we came out, we started talking about trade, how we're being ripped off with China, ripped off with Japan, ripped off with Mexico at the border and in trade, ripped off by Vietnam and by India and by every country, every single country, because they're all represented by these people that we think are representing us. That's why when I say I'm self-funding, folks, it means much more than you think. It means much more, I'm telling you. You know, if it's a tie, they should vote for me, is what I'm saying. And if it's like somebody 20% better than me, and I don't know why that would be possible, they should vote for me. Anything more than 20, 25%, go with the other guy. I will say this, look. These are the most dishonest people I've ever dealt with. Politicians. Now, I've dealt with them all my life, so I'm not surprised. It's not like I'm shaken up. But this guy, Cruz, lies more than any human being I've ever dealt with. Unbelievable. And he holds up the Bible, and he lies. And then he holds up the Bible again, and he lies. And you know, it was sort of cool, because at the last debate, Rubio, nice guy. Nice guy. No, but he looked across, and he said, you're a liar. And I've never heard a politician call another politician a liar. It was a thing of beauty. I've never heard it. So it then gave me cover. But he says so many things. You know, in the last election in South Carolina, the morning of the election, The morning of the election. Think of it. You think it's all done, and now you're going to wait around. You're going to have a nice, easy day. But tomorrow I'm going out to all the caucus sites, by the way, just in case you... Okay? I'll be at a lot of them. And you better be there. If you're not there, I'm going to be so angry. I don't want to turn on the television and say, you know, Trump has the biggest crowds, the highest popularity. Everybody loves the job he's going to do, but his people were too damn lazy to go out and caucus. All right? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't make me have a miserable evening. And then after this, you know what happens, right? After this, we have the whole SEC. We're going to do so great. We have Georgia, Tennessee. We have so many great ones. We have Texas. I think we're going to do very well in Texas, I think. Because, you know, the evangelicals were supposed to go with Cruz. They were supposed to go with Cruz. But you know what? Honestly, I won the evangelicals by a lot. You saw that, right? Actually, I won everything. I won short people, tall people. True. I won fat people, skinny people. I won highly educated, okay educated, and practically not educated at all. I love them all. I won the evangelicals big, and I won the military. The military I won big. Big. I won the vets. The vets, oh, those vets. I love those vets. We're going to take care of those vets. We are going to take care of our vets, right? These are the greatest people. I meet so many, the wounded warriors. I love these people. They have more courage, more guts, I hate to say it, than all of us put together. These are the most courageous, most incredible people. And they always have a smile on their face when I meet them. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, they've taken some shots, and they are amazing people. We got to take care of those people. Those people are great. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those people. And we're going to take care of them. We're going to straighten out that VA mess. We're going to straighten out that corrupt. How about this? It's hard to even believe. It's not even like a believable number. 22 suicides a day. No, think of it from the vets. 22 suicides. That's unthinkable. It's unthinkable. Look at the signs. Oh, that's so incredible. Wow. That's so incredible. I didn't know this. That is... That is incredible. Who would think this? Who would think it's possible? That is absolutely incredible. I didn't know you were going to be doing that. That is good. So we're going to straighten out the vets. So vets, don't worry. We're coming. We're coming. We're going to straighten out a lot of things. We're going to get rid of Common Core. You know, we're last. We're getting rid of Common Core. We're going to make education local. Do you know in the world, top 30 in the world, we're number 30. That means we're at the bottom of the list, but we're number 1 in terms of cost per pupil, by far. Number 2 doesn't even exist. Number 2 is so far away it doesn't even exist. We're number 30, and yet we're number 1 in the cost per pupil, right? So let's look at my campaign. I spent a lot of money, but I spent by far the least amount of money, and I'm by far number 1, okay? Isn't that good? Somebody else, I won't mention, but they were nasty to me. They took $25 million in negative ads. Can you believe it? $25 million, one guy. $25 million, and then I'm supposed to say he's a nice person, right? And they were phony ads. Well, I have one going on now, Cruz. He's got an ad, something to do with I want to take away your land and I want to keep it in the federal government. And I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. It's an ad. It's a Cruz ad. It's a Cruz scam. I'll tell you, so the evangelicals didn't vote for him. You know why? Because they don't like liars. They're really smart people. They don't want to vote for a liar. But it is true. I have an ad running right now. It's a Cruz ad. Something to do and a couple of people told me this, that I am backing the federal government to keep the land that's currently owned by the federal government, and we should give that land to everybody and divvy it up or something. I'm saying to myself, well, it's not a subject I know anything about. It's a hell of an ad, but this is a Cruz ad. This guy is sick. There's something wrong with this guy. On Saturday, when we had the vote, in South Carolina, Saturday, I wake up, I figure this is going to be a nice, easy day. So I get hit with a call from my management people, who, by the way, did a fantastic job. Corey, Hope, everybody. They're fantastic. And I get hit early in the morning that somebody did a robocall, but Cruz denied it. I said, wow, that's strange. Who would do a this is the day of the election. You just sort of don't do that stuff. You're not supposed to. But that I didn't mind. But the robocall had to do with the Confederate flag. This was not a good robocall to get at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then I had a second robocall at 12 o'clock. And the total lies, the whole thing was, I'll just tell you, I won't go into subject matter. A second robocall on election day. And it said, and this one had to do with gay marriage. And this goes to everybody in the area. This goes to everybody. South Carolina, incredible people. And I said, man, if I get hit with 2 robocalls like that, how can I possibly win? So I figured I was going to, how can you win? The people were so smart. And I won in a landslide. Can you believe that? We won in a landslide. I was going to tell you 2 other categories. I won with men, but that's not important to me. I won with women. That's very important. Very important. That. So we're doing really well. So we're sending a letter. We're sending a letter to Carrier. And in that letter, we're going to say that if I should win, we're going to come after you for a lot of money every time you send an air conditioner. We're sending a letter to Ford. I've been talking about Ford now for 2 years, right? Ford is building a $2.5 billion plant. I wish them a lot of luck. They're taking a lot of stuff out of Michigan and other places. Now, what's good, tell me, from our standpoint? We have these really stupid trade deals. Every deal we make is stupid. Whether it's Sergeant Bergdahl, where it's 5 for 1, and 5 or 6 people got killed looking for him. So we get a traitor, and they get 5 killers that they've coveted for years, for 9 years. We get 1, they get 5. Ours is no good. We could have it. Let's send them back, drop them right in the middle of the damn thing. Boom, fly over. Fly over. Fly over, drop them. Maybe you give them a parachute, maybe you don't. I don't know. Depends if we have an extra parachute. Probably we'd give him a parachute if we have an extra one around. But it wouldn't help him. He went out into that world. He didn't find it too comfortable, folks, They slapped him around pretty good. He thought he was going to go out. He'd be treated wonderfully. I think they slapped him around pretty good. He came back. He couldn't get back fast enough. 5, maybe 6, probably 6 people were killed looking for him. And we had a general and a colonel that went to see his platoon and went to see his group, and they all said he deserted. And we knew he deserted when we made the deal. Now, why would you make a deal for a deserter and give up 5 people who they most want, that are out trying to kill everybody, including us? Why would we give up? Why would we give up 5 killers? Why? For 1 dirty, rotten traitor. Because we have incompetent leadership. We have incompetent leadership. Think of it. Think of it. We go into the Iran deal. It started when? Years ago. How long have they been negotiating? They called up, one of the newspapers called up, Mr. Trump, how long should that deal have taken? One day, I said. They said, well, I said, maybe 1 week. Hasn't that been years? Like 3 years, 3.5 years? So we should have demanded the prisoners back before we start negotiation, right? And we would have gotten them. You ratchet up, and you get up and you say, listen, we are going to ratchet up those sanctions. We want our prisoners back. You leave. You had to walk. They never walked from that deal. We were ridiculed in that deal. And then even at the end, as bad as the deal was, the worst thing that ever happened to Israel, that I can tell you, that deal is a disaster for Israel. The worst. The deal is no good. It's going to lead to nuclear proliferation. They're going to have nukes. They don't even have to develop them. They can buy them with $150 billion and have a lot of money left over. And where are they spending the $150? So they're not buying Boeing. They're not buying Boeing. They just ordered 118 Airbus jets made in Europe. They ordered missiles. I didn't know they could buy missiles. They ordered missiles from Russia, and they're all over Europe spending that money. The United States gets nothing. And then 2 days before we sent most of the money, they attack us. And they put our 10 sailors in a begging position on their knees with their hands up, with a guy with a rough mouth, a rough guy with a rough mouth. I'd like to smack the hell out of him. And he's barking orders like he's a big shot, and they have rifles at their heads. And this is our friends. And Obama addresses their leader as the supreme leader. And he says the supreme leader. And Obama refuses to issue the words radical Islamic terrorism. And when I call for a boycott, we're doing that out of intelligence. We're doing that because we want to keep our country strong and safe. And we have no choice. Believe me. So we have some amazing things going on in this country, but we're going to make it so strong. We're going to make it so strong. One of the things I most look forward to doing is taking our military and just reworking it, getting the equipment they want, not equipment that was gotten for political gain by some guy that has control of a company that's good with the senators, some of whom I'm running against, okay? We are going to make it so strong. All right, so here's what we do. We are going to now talk for 2 seconds about Obamacare, because it is a subject that's very close to my heart, and it's killing our country. It's going to fail of its own weight by 17. It's going to fail of its own weight. It's going down, folks. It's going down. It's going to fail like you've never seen. But the Republicans, unless I'm there, will come and bail it out, because they always bail it out. They bailed it out with this horrible budget from 4 weeks ago. Obamacare is going to be repealed and replaced. Obamacare. We're going to have a strong country again, and Obamacare has to go. We can't afford it. It's no good. You're going to end up with great health care for a fraction of the price, and that's going to take place immediately after we go in, okay? Immediately. Fast. Quick. What? Okay, it's not working for you, right? Not working. Okay. It's, by the way, it's not, does it work for anybody? Let me ask you. Does it work for anybody? Nobody. We get it changed. We get it changed. We get it fixed. It'll be beautiful. It'll be beautiful. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Wise guys. We got wise guys. You know, sometimes you'd like to sit down with a guy like that. If you talk to somebody like that for a couple of minutes, I really think, unless, there's other motives, which there often are, but you talk to somebody like that for 15 minutes, what do we all want? We want security, we want safety, we want a home, we want a great family, we want health care, we want good jobs, right? I mean, whether you're a liberal Democrat, a conservative Republican, don't we all sort of, if you think about it, we want security. We want strong, strong security because our country now is in trouble. Now look, when it comes, and when I first came down, I said trade, but I said the border. That border is going to be so strong, and the Syrians cannot be allowed to come in, folks. We don't know who the hell they are. We don't know who they are. We don't know who they are. There's no paperwork. There's no documentation. Do you ever look at that migration? You say, look at all the young men. Where are the women? Where are the children, right? Take a look at what's happening to Germany. It is a disaster what's happening to Germany. What's happening to Sweden. What's happening to Brussels. You just take a look. It's not going to happen to our country. We're going to make our country... We're going to make our country stronger than ever before. If you look at our GDP for the last quarter, we had no growth. We had no growth. We're losing jobs. We have a phony jobs number. They say it's down to 5%. The real number is 25%. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't be having crowds like this at every stadium. The real number, and that 5% number, is a number that was devised by politicians to look good. Believe me, that's just to look good. And the jobs they're talking about, and everybody admits it, these are bad jobs. These are crummy jobs. These aren't the jobs they want. And the part-time jobs are all over the place. People working part-time jobs that never had a part-time job. So we're going to take our jobs back from China and all of these other countries. I have a friend. He's a great contractor. And he's a great merchandiser. And he cannot get his product into China. No matter what he does, he can't. They send their product, oh, bye-bye. Good job, fella. Bye-bye. Look, see, he's smiling. See, he's having a good time. Oh, I love the old days, You know what I hate? There's a guy totally disruptive, throwing punches. We're not allowed to punch back anymore. I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. That's true. I love our police, and I really respect our police, and they're not getting enough. They're not. But honestly, I hate to see that. Here's a guy throwing punches, nasty as hell, screaming at everything when we're talking. And he's walking out, and we're not allowed, the guards are very gentle with him. He's walking out like big high fives, smiling, laughing, like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you. It brings up